welcome back to the 114th episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello.
We have a bit of a mad week because I don't know what happened, but everything just decided to go off simultaneously this week.
Normal these days.
Yeah, it's like ever since GTA 6 got announced that it was being pushed back, everyone else decided to come out of the woodworks at the exact same time.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest, no matter how bad GTA 6 comes out, it's still going to be Game of the Year because of how much attention it's going to get and how big of a title it is.
Oh, definitely. Don't get me wrong, Rockstar they've got a very good reputation.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a long time since we've seen a game that Rockstar themselves developed that has ever had any real major backlash and issue. The only one I can think of is the remaster of the original trilogy, the original 3 main games that people loved, and that wasn't even Rockstar that developed it. They just published with their parent company. So, you know what I mean? It's a bit difficult with that. So, this week we are covering the GTA 6 second trailer that dropped. So, we were one of the few people that actually criticised the first trailer.
Nothing has changed. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not saying we have as much bad things to say, compared to the first trailer, because in comparison...
Oh, compared to the first trailer, it's nothing.
Oh, yeah. Compared to the first trailer, this is a lot better. It's a lot more what we'd expect to see.
Yeah.
So...
Well, in some aspects.
Yeah, in some aspects. So we'll be covering that, as well as Rockstar saying something that I must admit I really disagree with. We'll also be discussing Mafia The Old Country, which dropped a official gameplay trailer, along with a release date.
Let me guess, is it before the end of the year?
It is. It is indeed. Then we'll be discussing Nintendo revising its user agreement. And if you break it, Nintendo reserves the right to completely brick your Switch and prevent it from working.
Right then.
Also, we'll be discussing the fact that I decided to basically start doing a few tweets over the last couple of days. And one of them was calling out Nintendo because Palworld has spoken out about the lawsuits and how it's going to change another feature. So we can finally understand what the two, the two mechanics that basically they were getting called out for, and we can discuss them a bit more today. It's been a while since we've had an update, so I thought that one would be interesting.
It's been quite quiet.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good one to pull back on. Then we've got a reader's feature. Video game companies are lying to us about everything, and I'm very intrigued to see how that one's going to go.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Moving on to then
About 50 minutes in, prepare for Rory being very angry.
Yeah, readers' features always seem to get my nerves up, don't they? Fallout Season 2 filming just wrapped up, so I'm very excited because the first season was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, bloody hell, when we were discussing the series after you and me binge watched it, we ended up with a video that got over 1,000 views, if I recall correctly. It did really well.
And again, this have to watch it with ads.
Yeah, true. Oh no, I'm with you 100%. And after that, Outer Wilds, a really good indie studio, will be discussing their basically game that they... Well, sorry, let me just work through my head here. Outer Wilds
new game they're working on?
That's the word. Thank you, Will. They'll finally confirmed that they're working on a new game, but it will be years before they are ready to share details.
It's a long time.
Yeah, the thing about Outer Wilds, though, the game that they made originally, it is such an amazing indie game, and people return to it even now because of how good it is. But that first playthrough is insane. Just going through it, and you are clueless, and you're just slowly learning, but it's all trapped in a time loop, and you kind of do more over time, and it's crazy. It really is. It's such an impressive game as well. Moving from there, we'll be discussing Revenge of the Savage Planet, which is a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet, a game that I quite enjoyed. But the sequel's just come out. It's dropped on Xbox Game Pass. It's actually really enjoyable. I've put about 3 hours into it, and it's honestly extremely enjoyable to sit down, play through, have a good laugh at. Cause
you sent me that, didn't you?
I did indeed. It's co-op, but it's a damn good laugh, and I do definitely recommend it. And after that, we'll be discussing a game that Will has happily drawn my attention to. The next-gen VR modding platform powered by Unreal Engine 5, Beyond Sandbox. And I'm very excited to discuss that, I must admit. But anyway.
Is it co-op?
Well, it's a modding action FPS sandbox VR immersive sim. It's a modding tool, and I'm going to just be straight up here. The amount of people who turned around and made modding for Bone Labs and Boneworks within like the first year was insane. Just because they're basically just modding tools. And that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's get straight into the meat of the topic, shall we? And discuss GTA 6's trailer. So, Will, you and me have both watched this. I'd say probably a couple times each. I've watched it about 5 times at this point.
I watched it once and was done with it, mate. I'm not looking forward to having to watch it again.
I can't fault you. But I have a challenge for you. Through this entire 2 minutes 46 second trailer, I want you to tell me when you see gameplay.
Oh, well. I don't think we're going to pause then.
Oh no, we're going to pause at bits where we've got things to say, but as we go through, I want you to tell me if you notice any gameplay footage. Okay? That's my only challenge for you, and I will explain afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Technically, this is gameplay footage, you know? We all have to see the Rockstar symbol load in.
What are you doing up there?
I was just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some...
Like, immediately, we do have to admit, graphically, massive step up.
Oh, absolutely. That's the first thing I said to you whenever you sent me this.
Yeah.
Compared to the first trailer was awful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, the background elements in the first trailer just did not sit right.
Yeah, but here, it's not just the background. There's, like, actually, you know, looks like it suits. It's everything. It just looks so much better.
I'll be honest, one thing I did say throughout this trailer, and I stand by it, it feels more like I'm watching a film.
Yeah.
That's just how it feels to me.
Some properties with paying tenants.
Well, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Don't get me wrong, the voice acting as well is actually pretty funny at times.
Yeah, until they become very out of sync.
Yeah. I remember you complaining about that to me.
I don't know if that was just on my end or what, but it just felt like once you got further in the trailer, it just looked like everything was getting more and more out of sync.
Yeah, but I mean, it's completely possible, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's definitely how you
could be considered gameplay. I mean, maybe. Doubtful.
Yeah. On top of that, that is not how you open up a cash register.
Very 2D cash register as well.
Yeah.
Considering it's not digital, those keys are very much flat.
Oh, 100%. Honestly, the IGN fucking thing. Look at the fluid physics. Oh, fucking hell.
That's what you want to see, isn't it?
I'll be honest, up until this point, everything was pretty cool. You know what? I was quite happy with like watching people get beat up on the streets and getting searched by cops. You know what? Yeah, cool.
Just wait, folks. He doesn't stay this positive. He never does.
It never works.
It never lasts.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I think you heard before.
You might have.
What a great and useful conversation.
Yep. And cue the romance story.
Don't get me wrong.
Rockstar Games presents another horny sex game.
I don't remember who it was that said this. It could have been you, but someone turned around and said to me, well, I mean, isn't a lot of like Rockstar GTA games you go into strip clubs, you're pissing about, you're just slaughtering people for the sake of it? what would your character have a reason to go to a strip club for?
Yeah. Come on, when you just get shot and the game ends because your girl kills you for going to a strip club.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the gameplay.
The new beginnings.
You broke my nose. Yeah, let's just laugh about that. To be fair, I can't say anything. You and me would fucking piss ourselves laughing if one of us broke the other's nose.
Probably.
It's just the start for us. The only thing that matters is who we know.
Yeah, we're trying to get all this money in, and yeah, let's just spend.
This screams GTA to you, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
I thought GTA was going around pulling off heists, robbing people, shooting cops, shooting anyone really. So far, we've seen him punch a cash register and point a gun at a guy, and that's it.
That's the thing. Like every trailer, well, every GTA game pretty much had a reason they had to go to that life, and like I'm gonna go from like the 3 major games that I've played. So let's go San Andreas. You were pulled back into it because the police are corrupt as fuck. They wanted money and they wanted that gang to do what they needed to do. And there was a big betrayal. Everyone knows it at this point. And that's pretty much what got CJ back into it all. Nico Bellic. He was trying to atone for his past, but also he was only good at one thing, killing. He was trying to make a living in Liberty City, in America, fresh start. And it turns out his past had come back to haunt him. That was the big bad. And once again, betrayal. GTA 5, you were bank robbers. You gave up the life, but you needed money. Mainly because something happened, your wife, Michael's wife cheated on him, so he pulled down the wrong person's house, and a big gangster said you need to pay him back in X amount of time, or you've screwed it. Trevor comes back, XYZ happens, lots of shit goes off. You end up being betrayed by all these different government corporations that get involved with you, and you have to keep fighting to go there. Once again, each story has got like a reason behind it. This just seems to be a case of, we need to make money to live better. So let's just go commit crime.
We don't even really see them commit any crime.
Oh, yeah, we saw them, like, tell people to get down with guns pointed to them in, like, I'd say probably like an air traffic tower from the looks of things, and a club was another one.
Do this. We're doing it right.
So,
Yo, see this full effect? They got your name, address, they got everything.
they're getting raided for a fair amount of things. It looks like the cops are probably going to be corrupt in some shape or form. But once again, I haven't really seen gameplay. I've seen very much a case of everything I'd say here is just cinematic. It's what you'd expect to see in...
Yeah, or cutscenes.
Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, we can say that bit, and possibly this.
It may be, though.
Maybe. It's... Oh, possibly the explosion, too.
No, that wasn't even gameplay, because that was a completely different character.
The rest of it, once again... Oh, I suppose we could say you just sat watching the trailer. A TV... Oh, never mind. Well, that ruined that pretty quick. I mean, you could say a lot of this is probably gameplay elements, but it looks more cinematic.
If they are, yeah, and even if they are, it's going to be like scripted gameplay.
That's what I'm...
Where you're going through like a starter mission that is set out a certain way for you to follow certain tasks.
Yeah, that is my big concern. So, the reason I asked you to keep an eye out, because all that footage to start with was captured on the PlayStation 5. But it's this line underneath, comprised of equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. So
I can just live the same way I live in real life, just laying on the sofa watching TV? That was gameplay?
Now, as I said here, I must admit, I'm struggling to see which parts were gameplay. I get the cutscenes, but gameplay, either I've missed it or it looks more like a film than a game. That was my entire argument, to be honest with you. Until I see some proper gameplay footage, I'm genuinely unsure. And either they've done a very good job at cutting up the footage, because I know they never show you like their the HUD and stuff like that in early cutscene footage. In early footage. It's very much a case of they'll show it, but without all the HUD elements and from different camera angles. Now, I think a very good example of this, to be honest, is Mafia The Old Country. Because I watched this trailer the other day, and you could tell that it was gameplay. And this is, ironically, what we're moving on to now.
Come in. Bravery is not common in this world, and so honor.
That, you can tell, is gameplay.
Yeah.
It was not very difficult. You know what I mean? It's not a challenge to tell the difference between the two. You can tell that this is gameplay without a HUD.
Yep.
It's not a complex thing to pull off. But for Rockstar, I don't know whether they're wanting to make it these big cinematic experiences or what. What is the aim here? But I suppose that's something we'll see over time.
I don't really see GTA being a cinematic-y kind of game. It's more blow the fuck up, you know? Shoot a rocket launcher into the air control tower, you know? Yeah. Not jump in there, point a gun at someone and yell some words.
Yeah.
It's more run in there and shoot the gun.
Pretty much, that is the usual way. Don't get me wrong, in the heists, that's the way you did it, because you didn't want the police to be on you as bad. I'd imagine probably the same thing, but I've got no idea. No one does at the moment. Oh, I forgot that if you hold down your mouse on YouTube, it 2 times speeds up.
They said the map is not yet resolved.
The only thing I had to say...
Gameplay.
You what, sorry?
Oh, look, gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell. But the only thing I did have to say... Compared to the older Mafia games, this obviously graphically fucking stunning. Like you can see every bloody rock. It's insane. Yeah. But I don't really see at the moment why it's called a Mafia game. But I suppose it's something I'm going to learn about as time goes on in the game. Because there most likely is more older Mafia elements to it. But because it's set further back, it's not the Mafia that you immediately think of, you know, New York gangsters, shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone immediately relates to.
You gotta change it up every now and then.
Exactly.
Of course.
Oh, no, he doesn't exactly look like a guy that could just choke someone else out.
No, but stab them in the neck? Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And a very bad shot. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, very bad shot, because he just shot 3 times and only the 3rd bullet hit. Then proceeds to nail a little box on the floor. I like the old style car. Looks cool. But I would not be drifting that fuck around a dirt path. Ooh.
Now, you gotta love shotguns in a messy environment.
Oh, 100%. Shotguns are the best when you're in a room that's just filled with shit. It's great.
And we can actually shoot through those items and they're not just solid objects that take up the entire fucking shell.
Yeah. Such bullshit, honestly.
You again.
Why do you no longer have your shotgun? Honor? Is this an honor duel?
Maybe some sort of boss fight?
What a time to pause.
Good pause.
You look so happy.
Oh yes. Happy, happy.
Yeah, comes out August 8th. So not far off at all.
No,
honestly, from what I saw there, the like gameplay footage and stuff, it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty interesting. It's definitely something I'll take a look at when the time comes.
But more like Red Dead vibes around it, with it being in like country and all that, older days.
I mean, it's set in the 1900s, Sicily, so it's a full Italian underworld sort of thing. So it'll definitely be interesting. Kind
of crazy how far we went in 100 years.
Oh yeah, Red Dead Mafia Uncharted Origins 2 remastered. Like it. But yeah, like comparing that to the GTA 6 trailer we just watched. You can tell clearly what gameplay is, what cinematic footage is. You can tell the difference between the two easily.
I just don't think they really should have said there was gameplay in that GTA trailer.
No, it would have been so much easier to just go, this is all cinematic footage captured on the PS5. Or just gone, captured on the PS5. That way, no one's going to sit there and go, well, what the fuck here is gameplay? Don't get me wrong, I could be wrong on this, but after asking so many people, I don't think so.
Yeah. Speaking of Rockstar, though, and then mentioning Red Dead, have you seen like the theories around the trailer release date on Red Dead?
No.
So I believe from the date the Red Dead 2 release, plus then like the one of the opening cutscenes or something, there's something basically mentioned where a character says 7 years and 7 days. And that is supposedly, if you do that from the day Red Dead was released, do 7 years and 7 days later. That's when the trailer was dropped. So I don't know how accurate that is. I saw it briefly just on TikTok.
That's such an annoyance. If that's the case, that's so fucking annoying.
And you can check it. Try and reference it anyway. I don't know.
I mean, you know what? I'll take a look and I'll find out for next episode. I think doing that math right now might be a little challenging.
I mean, all we need to be is what, May 2018?
May 2018. So we just need to check Rockstar's. Red Dead 2's release. Are we on PC release or 26 October 2018? That's initial. Not quite then.
There must be something else here then, because I was watching the TikTok of it and they were saying 7 years and 7 days is all I heard the character say, and then that was just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, same with a lot of it, mate. So Nintendo, they now have officially the right to brick your Switch. Sounds fucking terrifying.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Now the reason for this, basically, it's to try and prevent people from running emulators or pirating on their Switch.
Yeah, that was my first thought, was emulation. But emulation would be done on a different device, although I guess if they're wanting to play older games from like Nintendo devices.
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult one. So Nintendo has tightened its user agreement, revising the terms and conditions with a tougher stance on players who hack their Switch console, run emulators, or any other such unauthorized use. Now, my kind of worry around, especially these sort of things, is, let's say your Switch breaks. Say it's like a major component, which does happen sometimes. It is known to happen. And you take it to a local repair place.
It doesn't even have to be a major component. It could be something as simple as a charging port, which is, I'd say, more common than anything else.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if you recall us looking at the Nintendo 2 stats.
Yes.
And how fucked that battery is going to be.
Yeah. Now, let's say...
Wasn't it taking longer to charge fully than it would last fully?
Exactly that, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's turn around and say from that you decide, okay, that needs replacing. Get a new one in sorted. You've technically modified your device. Now, will Nintendo ban it? Because a lot of people...
Probably.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of people turn around and immediately go, no, why would they ban it? They'd have no reason. Because by their rules, you have unauthorized modification to that device. You've made an unauthorized modification to the device. Now, we can say all day, any day that, yeah, they'd have no real reason to, but let's just say one time out of the many, Nintendo look at this, they've got like either an AI or just someone who's a bit sleep deprived one day looking at the device, looking at the logs and go, that's not right. Let's brick that Switch.
It wouldn't even be that, mate. It would be a power stance for Nintendo to do it.
Oh, definitely possible.
If we let one, we have to let them all, sort of move.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
But then let's take an example, changing the charging port because it's broke. How would they know? Because surely something like that isn't going to have like a checked serial number every time you boot the device or something like that. That seems a little extreme, even for Nintendo.
I mean, that's what a lot of hardware does by default. It checks like what the MAC ID is, I believe it is, of the components that are plugged into it. It's what computers do.
Yeah, of some components I would like to think a computer's a lot more in depth, considering how customizable every single part is. But the likes of Switch, like surely the likes of a charging port, such a basic small part of literally just plug it in to charge the battery. Surely not, right?
It shouldn't. Realistically,
you would think like it wouldn't really make sense to. It'd be kind of a waste of resources to put a serial number on a charging port. So it sort of makes you wonder how much like
freedom.
What's the word? The only word I can think of is reconnaissance for some reason. How much reconnaissance do they have on your device? But a little less in-depth word, if you know what I mean.
I get where you're going. As spotted by GameFile, emails have gone out to players confirming the company has updated the Nintendo account agreement and the Nintendo account privacy policy. The new rules now superseding all previous versions and applying to all existing and new Nintendo account users as of May 7th. According to GameFile's report, there have been around 100 changes between the existing agreement and the revised one. Until May 6th...
let's be honest, who reads these things, man?
Oh, no one. They just agree to them by default. There's the occasional
Literally,
person
like they could take your fucking liver if they wanted, probably.
At this point, genuinely, it would not surprise me if we've all just sold ourselves. Like, let's be honest.
I don't own anything Nintendo. At least I haven't done for many years, so I'm alright for now. Maybe.
Same.
My partner, on the other hand.
Yeah, same here, ironically.
Nintendo have the right to all of your organs. Sorry to tell you. Yeah?
Until May 6th, players agreed that they are not allowed to lease, rent, sub-license, publish, copy, modify, adapt, translate, reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble all or any portion of the Nintendo account services without Nintendo's written consent or unless otherwise expressly permitted by applicable law.
They really love to cover every base, don't they?
Yeah.
When it comes to Nintendo. And what we're reading now is just showing even more.
You know they're fucking lawyers, man. So, basically, you can't touch their account services without Nintendo's consent or the law agreeing. And you can't disassemble, decompile, reverse engineer, translate. You can't
do anything.
That's dumb. Adapt.
You can't do anything without them saying it's alright.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, however, that section has been significantly lengthened in the US and now reads Jesus fucking Christ. You know what?
This is why people don't read T's and C's.
Yeah, let's read the UK one just here because apparently this is a little shorter. A little. Like, any digital products registered to your Nintendo account and any updates of such digital products are licensed only for personal and non-commercial use on a user device. Makes sense so far? Logical. Digital products must not be used for any other purpose. In particular, without NOE's written consent, you must neither lease nor rent digital products, nor sublicense, publish, copy, modify, adapt, translate, reverse engineer, decompile, disassemble any portion of digital products, other than as expressly permitted by applicable law. Such unauthorized use of a digital product may result in the digital product becoming unusable. So basically what they're saying here is, you know, once upon a time, there was, well, to be honest, I'll just put it as it is now. As of now, before this came in, you could take any product you had a license to or owned, and you were able to pull it off and make it basically so if you had an emulator, you could just upload that to your PC on the emulator, and you'd be able to launch that game, and that would not be illegal because you own that license. So that'd be completely fine for you to basically put on an emulator. That was fine. Now they're completely saying any digital product you are not allowed to do this with. You cannot take the product.
It's not the device itself that they're going to fry.
That's some good news, yeah. I'll be honest.
So at least you know you get Nintendo. You get Nintendo, you download something, you do something you're not supposed to, and that's it. Immediately fried. Goodbye.
Yeah, like that's some good news. So it's very much a case of you're not allowed to do what people have been doing for a very long time. While Nintendo hasn't clarified what unusable means exactly, the wording suggests Nintendo now reserves the right to brick your console if it thinks you've broken the rules.
As we've just said, it doesn't, from the way they've worded it, it doesn't seem like the console itself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they'd be doing themselves in if they're going to break the entire console.
100% they would. Changes to the privacy policy now also stress that Nintendo may listen to Switch users' online chats in order to support a safe and family-friendly online environment and to detect violations of the Nintendo account agreement and other harmful or illegal interactions.
That sounds like they're going to integrate some form of AI, because you just simply cannot have people doing that.
Yeah, it's... to be honest, I always find that one very tough to deal with, because, like, in some countries, it's...
Privacy invasion?
It's not even that. In some countries, it's very much you can say certain words, but in other countries, it's extremely, like,
prohibitive.
Yeah, it's really looked down upon to say said words. It's like the worst of the worst that you can say.
Oh yeah.
And this happens a lot in dependent on where you are in the world, depends on what happens. Now, if this is an AI created, let's say, in Japan, how strict
There'll
is
be
it going to
certain
be?
terms and phrases.
Yeah, how strict is it going to be on someone from Australia or someone from the UK, where the language is very different?
Yeah. See, I would imagine off the get go, they'd have to use AI if they're gonna monitor
definitely.
stuff like that. Which, I mean, people are going to be agreeing to T's and C's, or so they're going to have that in there somewhere that you're basically letting them listen.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you decline that, then you can't use the device. So you kind of don't have a choice. I would imagine that it would be flagged, and then a person would look at it.
Well, let's go off of by default. Let's go by YouTube standards, actually. So
YouTube... well, if we're going by YouTube standard, nothing's allowed.
Oh no, we'll go by YouTube standards for copyright claims as an example.
Oh, so, okay.
If a YouTuber gets a video copyright striked, the AI will check it, and the AI usually agrees with the copyright striker, and then you'll ask it to be reviewed. And if you're under a certain sub count, you will get hit because it'll just be AI again. And if you finally get it looked at by a person, by basically going on Twitter or something like that, getting a load of people to back you up, a person might finally look at it and they'll agree, yeah, this is actually wrong. You shouldn't have been struck by this. That's the usual process. And it's sad because people don't look at it unless you raise enough of a fuss to get the account unlocked. So it's a bit rough, I'll be honest, with AI coming in because it takes up a lot of it.
It's going to basically screw over a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's been happening for a while, to be honest. The changes likely reflect some of Nintendo's recent frustrations, such as its high-profile piracy cases, as well as next month's launch of the highly anticipated Nintendo Switch 2, which is set to debut on June 5th. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders went live on April 24th, with the price still fixed at $450. And they went about as well as you'd expect. Meanwhile, Nintendo has issued a warning to US customers who applied for a Switch 2 pre-order from the My Nintendo store, saying the release date delivery is not guaranteed due to very high demand. So, best luck to them. So, while on the topic of Nintendo, the Palworld debacle, we finally got an update.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some very sad news.
What's up?
That's cream egg. It's a sad day.
That is a very sad day. I mean, at least it's since Easter. I thought it was going to be something serious then. No, cream egg. Kind of serious, but still.
Oh, very serious, sir.
So, Palworld, we finally got an update.
Yes.
Regarding
this I'm very intrigued by.
Regarding the lawsuit and changes to Palworld and the future. So, as you know, there was 2 mechanics that they were basically told you can't use. We copyrighted them. These 2 mechanics, we looked over the actual copyright. We were trying to figure out what it properly came under. So, Palworld has actually stated what it was, what the problems are. And in my opinion, they're ridiculous to keep locked down. So, regarding the lawsuit, changes to Palworld, and the future. We would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support from our fans over the past few months. We apologise for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans understand how difficult it has been to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to the development and distribution of Palworld. On November 30th, 2024, we released patch 0.3.11 for Palworld. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres. and instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Several other game mechanics were also changed in this patch. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. Everyone here at Pocket Pair was disappointed that the adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel the same frustration. Unfortunately, as the alternative would have led to an even greater deterioration of the gameplay experience for players, it was determined that the change was necessary. Now, that is the first one.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the first thought that was going across pretty much everyone's mind when Palworld got released, as fun and good of a game it was, and as much as it blew up, everyone was talking about how it was so much like Pokemon.
With the PAL side, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. In that sense, obviously, you know, last I checked, Pokemon doesn't have Squirtle going around with a fucking AK-47.
Ah, you never know. New one updates, you know. Basically, the mechanic that they labelled that you weren't allowed. Do you remember when we were talking about throwing spherical object and an action happening?
Yeah.
The action happening that they basically had an issue with was something coming out of the
creature
ball.
summoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that is their first mechanic that apparently they have completely...
Okay, what if they made it a cube, rolled the cube along the ground, and they popped out of the cube, as if it was a teleporter?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Remove the throwing, make it a bowling ball.
No, you sort of roll a cube along the ground. I know cubes don't necessarily roll, but enough power, they can go a bit, and it opens up into this fucking mechanical looking device. It expands a little bit. It's like a teleportation pad, and they fucking statically appear on that.
Yeah, that'd work. Furthermore, we regret to inform our players that with the implementation of patch 0.5.5, we must make yet another compromise. From this patch 4 onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with pals. Pals in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide. That was the second one. So they didn't have an issue with gliders. No. Nintendo had an issue with using an animal to glide. Even though
I'm surprised that they're allowed to use a glider.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I am too. But I find it kind of odd that they've attacked that one, because I'm pretty certain I've seen a couple of games do that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a TikTok of a game trailer a couple weeks back, and basically they jumped off a mountain and pulled out a glider, and my first thought was, have fun dealing with Nintendo. And then scrolled off the video.
Well, now we know it's just animal related.
Yeah, a bit weird, but okay.
Yeah. We understand that this will be disappointing for many, just as it is for us, but we hope our fans will understand that these changes are necessary in order to prevent further disruptions to the development of Palworld. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans for the discomfort and concern this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to developing Palworld and delivering exciting new content to our fans. On behalf of everyone at Pocket Pair and Team Palworld, thank you again for your continued support. And this had 5 million views.
Damn.
Say it with me.
I mean, we saw the statistics on SteamDB and all that.
Yeah.
They absolutely blew up and did brilliantly.
You know what? I am curious, because it's been a while. It has been a long while since we checked it. I don't expect it to be anywhere near what it was. But that is still a damn good in-game.
And the price. Don't forget the price tag as well.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Like, you compare them. That is still damn good.
Almost 400,000 reviews as well.
Yeah. And they peak at about 25 to 30k every week.
I mean, you see it there. 24-hour peak was 31,901.
Exactly. So, like, you know, they're still holding on really well. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's a drop-off of 1 million players. I'm not shocked at all with that, but yeah, honestly, they did really well. Now, I had to, in my anger, comment on this, and I didn't realise what account I saw it on, so the PandTha Talks channel posted this. not me, obviously. I tagged Nintendo and put, once again showing that players and player enjoyment doesn't matter to them unless their pockets flow with money. Don't get me wrong, that's part of business, but dear God, to prevent the use of mechanics and allowing others to try new things, you really do hurt the industry, Nintendo. Add the price increases and damn do you just hate your players. And that was the only way I could easily put in how I felt at that moment about Nintendo. It just, in my opinion, it sums up a lot of what's going on currently. And there's just so much of it. It's wild. It really is. It's absolutely crazy. And for the life of me, I can't get my head around it. Anyways, we got a readers feature, Will. It's been a while.
Rory's favourites.
It has been a while, so we'll see whether we agree this time or disagree. So, a reader is sceptical about the current leadership in the video games industry and worries that the needs of gamers are not the priority for publishers. So far, so good. I agree with that completely.
Where will they fuck up?
The games industry is in such a strange place at the moment. On the one hand, we have amazing games being released, with things like Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That is a game actually I've wanted to discuss over the past few weeks. It's a smaller company that's made it. They're charging a lot less in price for it, and the reviews have been absolutely crazy. I'm actually just going to pull this up so we can look at it. So the price point to get into the game, £42, which is cheaper than a lot of AAA games. 94% positive out of 45,507 reviews, which is really good. And it's made by a small studio. And people are loving it. Genuinely, they are in love with it. Here we are. 104,000 people in game right now. And their all-time peak, 145,000 people. That's not bad at all for a small game that released
3 weeks ago, roughly?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, 24th of April. Now, that's great to see. It really is. And honestly, I'm so happy to see it. And what makes it so much better, in my opinion, is people are thoroughly getting into this idea that come up to a new indie game. They're good. They're enjoyable. People love them.
Literally.
Blueprints. Best puzzle game of the year.
I've saw a bit of Blueprints, and it is very interesting. And there's it's one of those puzzle games where there seems to be a lot of secrets to discover as well, which is always cool. And it's a very interesting type of puzzle game as well.
I've not seen it myself.
You basically have a little map. You have a little map, and it's like a 4 by something grid.
Oh,
and every time you go through a door. Every time you go through a door, you pick a room, and you need to get all the rooms placed down to get to the end and get the last room, which is sort of like the lore of the story. It seems very interesting. I've only seen a bit of it.
I saw a little bit, but I didn't realise it was that. It did seem really interesting. But
it does. It does.
Once again, another really cool little indie title. And then after that...
It's one of those where you learn more as you go as well. So as you, when you go to sleep for the day, everything resets, but you've obviously learned stuff.
Yeah.
So you sort of slowly figure out more and more how to do.
No, exactly. And the final game he mentions is Monster Hunter Wilds, which, if I recall correctly, is the only AAA game on this list, which is made by, if I'm right, Capcom.
It's mixed as well.
Damn. Did they make a mistake?
Performance.
Oh, yeah. All performance.
Classic issue, man.
Yep.
That's the biggest downfall of most games these days.
It is.
It's one thing that some of them have just not really been interesting or fun to play at all. But even the ones that have been good to play, they just have so many performance issues.
Oh, definitely. And on the other hand, we have publishers acting like monsters, cutting hundreds of jobs at a time while making billions in profits. Not only...
As you read over companies acting like monsters, my eyes glided across Nintendo and Yeah. Does anything else need to be said?
Not only that, but making business decisions so stupid that it's left ordinary gamers like me absolutely baffled. I mean, this guy so far is nailing it.
This could be a first here.
It could be. I mean, we're like a paragraph in, so don't call it too early.
You're agreeing. Yeah, you're agreeing too much. Something's gonna go wrong, surely.
It's not just the obsession with live service games, which Sony proved this week they still can't shake, but the total refusal to deal with the rising costs of making games with anything other than price rises. When even Nintendo sees that as the only answer, you know that they're not even trying to address the problems, and that's what's got me thinking. Yeah, so far I agree. I can't see anything here to disagree with.
This is scary times where we've moved into here. Scary times.
It is. It seems to me that nobody high up in the games industry is in the slightest bit interested in being a custodian, as you might say, of gaming. Nobody's looking out for the long-term health. Nobody cares whether people lose their jobs or developers go under. And definitely, nobody cares about art. You might call me naive or for even thinking any of these things were possible. But whenever something bad happens in gaming, I think back to that awful photo of Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, and the head of Blizzard at the time, standing in front of hundreds of Blizzard employees, a huge number of which got laid off only a few days later. Both men must have known at that time, but they're both grinning away as if they were at a pop concert, soaking up the adulation from their fans. Nobody in charge of a game publisher is in any role, is in the role for anything other than themselves. They don't care about the company, just their own money, bonuses, and eventual golden parachute. Remember, when the head of Microsoft had Game Pass targets removed from the list of things that he had to do to get a bonus. These people don't care about anything but their own bank account.
Yeah, that sounds accurate for the higher ups and the CEOs.
Yeah, I'm genuinely there's nothing wrong with what this guy's saying. He is spot on about everything so far.
Where does he fuck up and go wrong? That annoys
That's
Rory.
the question. They're only human, I suppose you could say. I'm not sure I would be any different if I was earning $10 million a year. But then recently, I was watching a video by Alana Pierce, who used to work at Sony Santa Monica, going on about everything that's going on. It's very interesting and only 20 minutes long, so I advise everyone watch it. A lot of it was familiar to me from things GC had said in the past about publishers not being interested in what gamers want, but instead what will please investors. They make money from selling games, obviously, but that takes time to filter through. Most of the actual cash flow, as I understand, comes from investors and venture capitalists. What this video makes clear is that we ordinary people are not even the customers of these companies, of Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, EA, Ubisoft, and the rest. The investors are. Everything game publishers do, they do for them. Once you realize that all the dumb decisions suddenly start to make sense. He's spot on so far. There's not a single thing he has said incorrectly.
Yeah, I mean, if you look into it a bit deeper, if you are part of the team that develops a game, that's a hell of a job and a lengthy time to develop one game, especially if it's a decent sized game. So the amount of time and commitment, you need to have a passion for that. You couldn't be in the industry if you didn't. So there's no way that these people who have such passion for making a game are going to make these kind of decisions.
No, exactly. There's too many live service games, and gamers want more single-player games, but it never happens. Why? Yeah, exactly. Co-op. Why?
Not just single-player, it can be co-op.
Yeah, exactly. Why, though? Because investors know about Fortnite, Minecraft, and the rest of them, and they want more of that.
I mean, I guess the likes of console version with all the fucking skins, because they're not like PC where we can just go make our own skin if we want.
Well, and they charge for some slight animation mods and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess you got realms as well for whatever reason.
Well, you can fucking do the same thing with a match here at 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't even need that really.
No.
CurseForge mod packs. You're not just playing vanilla Minecraft, and then they, as you showed me, there's basically a whole setup to run it on your own PC.
Yeah, takes like
for like nearly every mod pack.
Yeah, takes like half an hour to get set up and done. It's really easy. Even just the potential of a hit of that scale is far more important to them than just a modest profit from a normal game. Already sick of hearing about AI in games? Tough. Investors love it. Even if it doesn't work out and it's going to ruin the economy by putting so many people out of work, if they find out AI is involved, they're more likely to invest. And it'll be the same for whatever dumb buzzword is next in tech, just like it was for NFTs. Games are getting too expensive to make, so maybe we should cut budgets and shorten games. That doesn't make sense to investors. They don't understand or want to understand gaming. They don't want to understand gaming. So the only logical thing to them is to put more money in to get more money out. If any publisher tries to pretend to you that they're doing it for the gamers, or they give a damn about what the game is or who's making it, they're lying. All they're interested in is what pleases investors. Even laying people off is part of that, because that's what investors expect any company to do. That isn't showing infinite growth. Everything bad that's happening to the games industry right now is because of greedy execs looking out for themselves and uncaring investors looking for easy money. Any good games that come out of that is purely a side product, and no one that could make things better has any interest in doing so. Publishers don't care about games, and they definitely don't care about you. Okay.
Have you noticed though that this is in relation, and it's always with the bigger companies, because they've given themselves a title because they're a bigger company who used to make this game, or they made that game, or XYZ product, and now they're basically abusing their reputation to just pissing shit out piles of garbage that they know people are going to buy because of their previous reputation.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Just to say this to you now, Will, I didn't disagree with a single thing. I agree with everything.
I'm truly amazed.
This Grackle, 110%, thank you. That was pretty much my entire thoughts.
You should also feel honoured, Grackle, as this is the first reader's feature that Rory has not had a single bad thing to say.
I mean, it literally released like 12 hours ago.
Yep. I am truly amazed and very much shocked that this day has came so soon.
I mean, the thing is, though, he's spot on. He basically just voiced everything I felt regarding it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Rory,
did
you go on a little adventure in the middle of the night and type all this out and upload it, and then, it was at 1 a.m. It must have been like an American or something.
I mean, I was up on that. I was a little bit drunk.
See, he doesn't even have an alibi.
I was a little bit drunk, so I highly doubt I'd type as fluently as this.
Hey, man, autocorrect is out there.
It is. You are correct. So,
if you're doing it on Word or anything like that as well, you get plenty of red squiggles,
Oh, definitely. Fallout Season 2 filming just wrapped, so now's a good time to check out any New Vegas sickos and make sure they're not getting too worked up. Honestly, I'm so excited because it's supposed to be basically based in New Vegas, and I adored New Vegas.
You obviously mentioned at the start of the episode when we were briefly going over everything we're going to talk about how our episode did on it.
Yeah, it did amazing.
Just the Fallout series in general absolutely blew up. Even people who didn't know what Fallout was were watching it and enjoying it.
It brought so many people in. It really
did.
Yeah,
so I think it's safe to say that the second season is very much anticipated.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just hope they do as good of a job, if not better, because it seems to be common. It's very, very rare anyway that the following seasons of a show are better than the previous.
Oh, yeah.
Most shows you think about, first season was the best season.
Yeah, it does happen. Right, let's see here. Good news, Goggins heads. It looks like we're proceeding apace on Fallout Season 2 in an Instagram post uploaded yesterday by Ella Pennell, uploaded a celebratory selfie with co-star and fictional dad Kyle MacLachlan to commemorate the end of filming for Fallout's second season. If you're wondering, yes, Walton Goggins made his own announcement, by which I mean he tore off his face.
I saw that. I was wondering what that was about.
Yeah. It should be no surprise that there is eager anticipation for Fallout Season 2, considering the Amazon show single-handedly triggered a franchise-wide Fallout renaissance that increased daily player counts and games throughout the series by as much as 600%.
And then they went and updated Fallout, broke all the mods, destroyed the game, and everyone fell off of it immediately again.
Pretty much. And there's a lot of excitement about for one particularly beloved wasteland that the Fallout show is, by all indication, headed to Season 1 capped off, with Hank heading towards New Vegas. And there's a steady stream of production leaks bubbling to the surface between seasons, showing recognisable landmarks from the Mojave. Some of the New Vegas excitement is a bit tentative, however, if not maladaptive. Some fans were driven into a frenzy over perceived timeline discrepancies in Season 1 that were taken as an indication that Bethesda was paving over New Vegas lore. Todd Howard even had to issue a placating decree on saying on April 2024 Kind of Funny podcast that New Vegas is very, very important to us. It's a very, very important game to us. Just how deep Season 2 will dig into the New Vegas lore bugs remains to be seen. Though. Will we see Yes Man? Did the Bright Brotherhood ever make it to space? Is the show brave enough to open the Joshua Graham can of worms? Whatever happens, I'm sure the cast will have to fight plenty of geckos. It wouldn't be authentic otherwise. I'm very excited. I really am. I do love New Vegas. It was my favourite. It really was. So I'm just ecstatic to see more. I've got to admit.
I mean, who wouldn't be? Like, with how Season 1 went, they had all the Fallout fans that obviously know about the game, have played whatever Fallout games that they've played, were already stoked to see the show. And It was a fantastic show and was so relatable to the games. Like, it felt like they'd picked stuff from the games, which obviously they did, and that was the best way for them to do it. But simultaneously, they were able to expand their audience to people that don't even probably game.
Yeah.
Or maybe only dabble in gaming, or like casual gamers who don't really play games like Fallout.
Exactly. They did such a good job, and I'm so excited to see what they do.
All we can hope is that they do the same thing. Or, have the same, like, sort of agenda anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100% on that one. So, Outer Wilds Studio finally confirms it's working on a new game, but says it'll be years before it's ready to share details. 6 years after the release of the most excellent sci-fi camping game, Outer Wilds, developer Mobius Digital is working on something new. A fact that it let slip in a recently released update, which is also the final major update planned for the game. It's unusual, you see, because typically when a studio begins work on a new game, and especially when it's following up on a big critical and commercial hit, there's noise about it. Game sites get press release, an announcement goes out on social media, the dev team drops a teaser or some sort, all that sort of thing. In this case, though, there was none of that. Instead, there was an off-the-cuff comment about the Outer Worlds patch. In the Outer Worlds patch 16 changelog. This is a minor patch, mainly for adding a couple of folks to the credits and fixing 2 PC-only bugs. Clicking out of the game, basically just little things, which affected streamers in particular and diagonal movement, blah blah blah. Explained that the patch would launch on Steam first and follow to other platforms later in May. Why stagger the releases like this? It's to increase the chance that if any bad bugs on Steam slip through testing, they'll get caught and fixed before the release of the other platforms. This is no shade to our quality assistance testers We're just trying to be extra risk averse and conservative with the resources we put toward Outer World, since our new game is our priority. Lest there be any confusion, the studio repeated in the statement at the end of the patch notes, there will be no more major updates planned for the Outer Wilds or Echoes of VI, because we are hard at work on our next game. Now personally, I could not swear to you that this is the very first time new game from Mobius Digital has ever been announced, but I believe it is. Yes says it is, for one thing, that's who tipped me off, and there also appears to be genuine surprise about the development on social media. That's where Mobius Digital warned that even though the word is now out, people should not expect to hear any more about a new game anytime soon.
I mean, it's always nice to know that they're working on a new game, especially fans of their previous games. Like I'd say, there's quite a few different indie devs that we both follow differently, and when you hear that they're working on a new game, you want to know more.
Oh, 100% you do. 110%. So yeah, I'm very interested in that. And hopefully we do hear more in a couple of years' time, and we'll hopefully see a lot of positive things. So, Revenge of the Savage Planet. Currently free on Game Pass. Well, currently on Game Pass. It's not free. I hate that system, but it's something I've got started saying myself. Hate it so much. So, the first game, really enjoyable. It's like a shooter, just it's more insane. Some of the bloody adverts just in the game, they have like real people dressed in like cosmetic makeup just taking the piss. And that is a lot of like the adverts and stuff. It's why you see real faces and stuff just pop up in the trailers. But it's an amazing game. It's so much fun. It's so daft as well. And some of the mechanics, as you can see, are just crazy. Explosions here, insanity there, bit of daftness
Lights
here and there. Yeah, laser whip, which is also a lasso to just take people. And yeah, smush. It's such a dumb but fun game.
Just whack. That can be what you need sometimes.
Exactly, and it's such a blast in that regard. And
quite literally, as you saw in the trailer.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it, I must admit. And so is a few other people that I know. And it's co-op, so even better. But yeah, it's really worth taking a look at. And the first game was a blast too. Highly recommend picking that up and having a look if you haven't already. Such a good bit of time. And, you know, they make these games occasionally and they're always a laugh. And that's what you need. So, last topic. Beyond Sandbox. AI not AI. VR game that's actually interesting with good mechanics.
A lot of mechanics too.
Yeah. See, our big thing has always been with VR. We want to see full, reaction. If we do something, let it happen.
Yeah.
And that's how this looks. I mean, using a magazine to pull the gun, the actual ammo pullback, stuff like that is just so satisfying. This is what's been needed for so long. And I think this is just, as a VR enthusiast as we are, this is definitely for us. It's something
that is a big thing there. I didn't realise that. Being able to see the bullets in the mag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice too.
There's just so much to this that just seems so cool. I mean, definitely this is something I would highly enjoy.
Damn.
Just push it off. Next one. Cool. Now, to a lot of people who aren't into VR, this probably doesn't seem like much, but to us, this is pretty big.
The whole thing with VR is just you can have it so much more in depth than a regular game. Because a regular game, all you get when reloading on is just an animation. That's it. Some games add in you have a rare chance of getting a different animation, which is cool to see, especially if you've not seen it before. But even at that, once you see that one time, that's it.
Yeah.
But whereas with VR, you can reload however the hell you want.
Exactly.
You can turn the gun upside down and turn it around back to front as well. Pull the mag out, slam the mag in from the top, flip it over, and pull the cock back as you please.
They have full-on resistance systems and everything.
Yeah.
They have set
for me
really
as fun as you know, I've always said in games I don't really care for melee, but when it comes to VR, melee is so fun for obvious reasons.
Blade and Sorcery did it best so far.
Oh yeah.
Any game I've played.
Oh yeah. But when it comes to guns, you could love being able to do whatever you want with them, and having so much like customization and interaction with them is so fun.
Oh, definitely. They're so like daft, but some of the things are just so cool. Bayonets actually work. Okay, effective.
Yeah.
Weight simulation. Same with the guns. He's made the weight feel realistic.
Crack his skull.
Bone fracture from impact damage. Oh, yeah, that's bone impact, all right. Wibble wobble.
Gonna break all their arms. They're all just running around with floppy arms.
I wonder how it looks on their legs. But there's like full impact. So could you technically arrest someone like that? Wait, what? No.
Oh.
That's satisfying, but also terrifying. Lethal bone fractures. That's not a bone fracture. Yeah. That's a snapping of a neck, but that's not a fracture. Okay, so BeyondSandbox.com, you say?
I'm surprised you hadn't seen anything of this.
Same. Please tell me.
Because there's one of the guys that I imagine, I don't know if he's developing it or he's just like their sort of guy who goes in and tests it and advertises it and it's like sort of their social media manager as well or something like that. I don't know his full role, but there's one guy that I always see in uploading stuff about it and like explaining stuff about it and the stuff they're doing with it. Because those trailers there, they seem, this is what I'm seeing. They're very basic in comparison to the stuff that I've seen in these TikToks.
I'm going to leak our release date as well as a few other things because y'all deserve it for getting us to 100 million views. So if I disappear, you know what happened. Player models to show off soon, as well as new maps for 2 different game modes, and of course, gore. But it will all be releasing together in... I'm going to...
Of course. I definitely think I'll probably join the Discord on this, and we'll see from there. But there's very similar stuff on their YouTube and shorts and stuff, as you can see here. They're zombies. Okay.
Well, they said 2 different game modes, so there maybe is like a sort of search and destroy or hold the point or something sort of game mode, and then maybe a zombie game mode.
Yeah, definitely.
Which means who doesn't love zombies in VR?
Oh, 100%. And if their maps are any good, and then we can get like modders in to make better maps. Probably some new different guns. Oh, Will, there's your answer.
Oh, hell yes.
That's what you were worried about earlier. So, yeah, they're going to have a multiplayer there from default.
Considering they're making the game modes as well, it seems like it's going to be a full game, not just a tool like you were saying earlier.
Well, I mean, it's still pretty much there. It's literally called a next-gen modding platform.
I mean, no, I'm not saying like it's going to be limited to just a game.
Oh, no. I think they'll very much go down the Bone Labs, Boneworks side of things.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine. And honestly, it looks amazing. I really am excited for this. You just need to get yourself a VR sorted.
Yeah.
Exciting times, though. Very exciting times.
Very, very. Stuff that we actually have to look forward to.
After so long, we have a new VR game to look forward to.
Yeah, but we're still waiting. Sadness.
That is the sad news. But yes, that's everything I've got to talk about this week. Do you have anything you'd like to mention?
No, that was pretty much the bits that I had. Yeah,
it was a very packed week this week.
But... There was loads of stuff this week.
Oh, wasn't there just? But we seem to have got to everything quite well. We've managed to cover everything happily, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I think that's everything for this week. So thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And join the Discord, which is in the description, if you want to get in contact or talk to us about random stuff, or even just tell us what your favourite game is that's upcoming and you'd like us to talk about. Anything's fine.
We talk about it all.
Oh, we do. We've recently started to utilise the Discord a bit and pop up in the community chats, so feel free to drop by. We've had some interesting weeks. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.